Hi y'all, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com, and today I am here to show you how to craft this wallet. You'll notice it has an asymmetrical flap with a snap closure, and then on the inside there is a pocket which will hold your cell phone, 3 card slips, and then a full-length pocket for cash, passport, small notebook. And then there is an option to attach a wristlet strap or a key fob clip there, and you can wear that on the outside of the wallet, or if you're not using the phone pocket, that tucks neatly inside there. And then it's just a tri-fold design there. Very simple, sweet wallet. Now for this one that we're going to sew together, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to use the RFID Blocking Fabric that our friends over at Nancy's Notion sent. And that fabric, if you're not familiar, is designed to block the radio waves that people can use to steal your credit card information. And then I recently learned that some of the newer passports have chips in them, and the same thing can happen there. So it certainly is totally optional. I just thought it'd be fun to try it out since this is a wallet and we have the fabric on hand. I referenced the Nancy's Notions website, and it said that you cannot iron this and you should only hand wipe it. So I'm assuming that we'll have to be careful when we turn and press, and that this wallet will now not be able to be machine washed. The prototype that I made does not have that in there, and it can be safely ironed and safely machine washed. So if those are important features for you, then you'll want to omit the blocking fabric. So we're going to begin with this interior panel, which has a layer of the blocking fabric, a layer of warm and natural quilt batting, and then a piece of cotton fabric, which is cut 8.5 inches across by 16 inches long. And I pressed that cotton fabric in thirds, and I'm just going to stitch down those 2 lines there to attach all of these layers. And it sews very nicely. I didn't have any problem getting through those layers. You can hear it kind of has a papery, plasticky sound to it. I'm going to remove my clips now. I want to say a special thank you to my friend Suzette. She sent me these clips with that gorgeous fabric that we made the summer sling out of. And I'm just now getting a chance to play with them, and they worked really well. So thank you, Suzette. Okay, so I have my panel prepped there. Now I want to bring over my pocket pieces here. All of the pattern measurements are down in the notes for the video, so just click the see more, or you may have a small arrow there. So we're going to begin by crafting the card pocket, which is made from one piece of fabric that is 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches. So to start, fold that in half, and then take that folded edge and press it over 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to take just a second and attach my label right under that lip at center. There I have that attached. I get a lot of questions as to where I purchase my labels. I ordered these off of Etsy from a shop called Remember When. So I have my card pocket. Now I just want to fold that in thirds and create some press lines. And I'm going to lay that on top of the cash pocket, which is also 8.5 by 8.5 piece of material, and I just folded that in half. No need to fold over the top edge. So then I'm going to layer the card pocket right on top of the cash pocket. And I'm aligning those raw edges. And now I will stitch down those press lines to divide the pocket. Okay, so I have the card pocket attached to the cash slip, and then I've divided that so that I'll have 3 card pockets on the front of that. And so I want to position this on that layered body panel, which is the interior panel, and I'm going to position the raw edges of those pockets up 1 inch from the bottom of the wallet and right along that first stitch line where I divided that thirds, and that is approximately 5¼ inches up from the base. So I have those raw edges right here, and there is 1 inch overhang there. Just clip that in place, and I'm going to scoot that over for a second, and we're going to work on the phone slip, which is crafted from 1 piece of material that's 8½ inches wide by 7 inches tall. And for that, I pressed all of the edges inward and kind of framed that out with a nice hem. And then I want to take those outer edges and fold them in. Now you're going to have to measure your phone 4¼ inches wide by 5½ inches tall, and that's the 4¼ by the 5½ is big enough for my iPhone 10, I think they call this. So that's one of the larger phones, but everybody has a different size phone, so measure your phone and just kind of semi-fit that, and you have a lot of leeway there in the back so that you can get a good fit for your phone. So now what I want to do is just hem or stitch right across that top edge of that so that I can hold all those layers in place. Okay, so right now I have the hem across the top there, and then the remaining edges are all folded around. So I'm going to bring back over my interior panel there, and then approximately 1 inch up from center of that, and then now everything's turned sideways, so the cards will go in this way and the phone will go in this way. I'm going to position that pocket centered 1 inch up in the center of this body panel. I will have to resort to regular pins for this pocket, and you can see that the phone will slide in there, and it's going to be, should be a nice snug fit so that it doesn't slip out. So now I just want to stitch down the sides and across the base to secure this. I'm going to reinforce here at the top corners where there will be additional stress points. Okay, my pocket is attached, and let's see how that fits. It's perfect, and it's tight enough that it won't just slip right out, but not so snug that I can't slide the phone in and out. So that's a perfect fit in my opinion. Now we just want to craft the wristlet strap. So I want to make a little longer strap for this one, as my prototype just was long enough for me to hook the wallet on something or attach the keys to it. But for this one, I'd like a wristlet strap. So I have an 18 by 3 inch piece of material, which I have folded to create this strap on the interior channel there is a 1.5 inch piece of Pellon 808 or 809 will work as well. I'm just going to fold that in half and press it long ways, open that up and bring those raw edges inward to meet on the center press line. Press it over one more time, and then I'm going to go ahead and stitch down the open edge and the opposite edge to finish. My strap is complete. That Pellon is just the perfect weight to give that strap a little stability and rigidity there. So now I just want to trim off a small piece of the strap. 3 inches should be good enough, and I have a decorative swivel fob and then a 1-inch ring here. So I want to take that 3-inch piece and fold it around that ring, and then I'm going to go ahead and stitch that. I'll position those raw edges at center here, just above that phone pocket, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch across there to attach it to the interior body panel. And then with the swivel fob there, I'm going to feed the remaining portion of the strap through that, and then fold that in half. Align those raw edges and stitch very close to those raw edges. And I'll just trim up the threads there. And I'm going to turn that around so that interior seam is hidden. I'll have to turn it around on the end of the fob as well. And then I will slide that down so that the fob sits right on that seam. And then I'll just press that and stitch approximately 1/2 inch up to hide that seam inside of the stitch line. Okay, and now my interior seam is hidden. That's what it looks like on the back. I have a wristlet fob there, which when the wallet is complete, I'll be able to attach to that ring and remove it as needed, or even use this as my key fob and then attach everything to the wallet. So now I want to bring over the exterior body panel, which also measures 8.5 by 16 inches. It is not lined with anything. I just want to make sure that my pattern is running in the correct direction. The side of this interior panel that has no pockets is the top or the flap of the wallet. So I'm going to position that facing down on this panel and align all the edges. Then I want to turn this so that the top flap is facing up there, and I'm going to create that asymmetrical angle here. This does not have to be precise, and if you have different measurements that you like, feel free to use those. For mine, I'm going to measure measure down 3 inches and then in 3 inches. It's going to be probably closer to 3.5 there and 3 here, but I'm just going to take a little corner off of that right hand side, which is slightly larger, and then I will turn here so that I can come in at that point and meet it over on the other side at the 3-inch mark. So that was a slightly smaller triangle there that I took out. Set those pieces aside, and then that's what it looks like there. And now I want to stitch up the side and around this angled flap and down the other side. I'm going to leave the bottom where the pockets are open to turn, and for this I'm going to use 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, I've stitched around and now I'm going to go ahead and turn this right side out. And then the RFID fabric is closer to the exterior fabric. So I'm going to quickly press this on the interior just to get everything to lay nice and flat. Just looking at that, it seems okay, like it didn't melt or anything. So now I want to take this unfinished edge and clean up any stray threads that I have there. And then I'm going to fold that over twice to hide the raw edge of that pocket. And then I just want to stitch across there, back stitching at the beginning and the end to tack down that fold. And then once you have that fold tacked down, then you can continue all the way around with a top stitch. Okay, I top stitched all the way around there. Now I need to install my snap closure. As of late, I've been using these snaps from Sewology. And if you can get those 40% off, they frequently have sales on the hardware there at Hobby Lobby. That makes this a good deal. So for these snaps on wallets, I like to double dip and use 2 of the decorative heads and then save the remaining prong for another project. And the reason that I do that is because the snap, you'll be able to feel it inside of that cash pocket. And so I want that smooth edge there so nothing gets scratched. Flip this over and position the snap right at that peak on the flap. And I just poke those prongs through. And then I take the female portion of the snap and set that right on the prongs, and it should rest on all the prongs. And then I use a small hammer. And then the male portion of the snap fits in there. And then I will fold up the wallet and see approximately where I need those prongs to come up, and I'll just poke those in at that point so I can see the little holes in the fabric. Then I'm going to come in through that cash pocket and back around to the front, and then I'll poke those prongs through, fold it back up, and that snap should rest right on those prongs. Then I'll hold that and give it a couple more whacks with the hammer. There we go. And then the last thing I would do is attach the wristlet fob there. And I have a super cute wallet, which if you don't want to use the wristlet fob, again, that can lay right inside there and not be in your way. But it is a very simple, completely functional design, which will fill it up here. One fits here. And then I have 3 card holders and cash or small notebook, passport, and I'm ready to go. All right, so this is super cute. I will be back next week with another inspired project. Until then, as always, please know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you. I hope you all have a beautiful week. Thanks for sewing with me.